Hello friends, so this here is a continuation of my commentary on the movie 1979 movie Alien movie and the first release, but my commentary is really on the director's cut release of 2003, right? Which is the same but with some modifications. It's a little bit longer. I found it to have like a little bit more information or scenes, even though they're not long, like they're in the seconds. So here in the beginning, I miscounted, right? In the last video, I miscounted and I counted 12, right? But in fact, it's not 12. So here there's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's supposedly Abraham, and then there's 6 here, right? However, now I have a different bearing or different understanding of this. And this goes like this, right? Uh, 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 right? So there's 5, and then there's Abraham or Adam or maybe God, right? And then there's 6 here. So there's a 5 and there's the 6. So the 5 is something that is probably angelic, and the 6 is probably humanistic, or vice versa. I really do not know. I am not into those things. My traditional religion is really Islam, right? And traditional or Orthodox Islam. So I am not familiar with what's going on. But if that's what it is, this is Adam, or this is God, or this is Abraham. I am leaning toward Abraham for now, and this would be Sarah, and this would be Hagar. Or if that's the case, then there's Adam, and then there's Eve, and there is Lilith, or vice versa, right? Or if it's God, then these are humans, and these are what's called angels, right? Or fallen angels. In my traditional religion of Islam, it's not like that. There are 3, right? There's one that is angels, right? That's made of light, and then there's supposedly or truly what's called demons or genies, and they are made of pure fire. And then there's humans, that is us, which are made of clay, dust, and water, and so on, right? So here, if that's the case, then this is the 5 and this is the 6, or vice versa, right? That's what these two are, right? They're the two prominent. They're the two prominent creations, right? However, I have rough ideas of what this is here. One day, and again, that may be good and evil, right? Which one is which? I don't know. They keep telling you about Zoroaster and so on. This is late invention, and it was all these ideas and notions about good and evil and so on. This was invented later. Good and evil, actually, the first appearance of the word good and evil, or evil and good, vice versa, really appeared in the Quran, right? There's a verse in the Quran. I will probably put a reference to it in the comment section, right? And then it was modified by the Magi. So there's no such thing we know of as Zenda Vista. This was actually a later creation, right? And that's where you see all these wings, right? So one day I was in Germany, years back, I was in Germany, and I went to Hanover, right? And in Hanover, I entered a church, and that church in the middle of Hanover had a belfry on it, and that belfry had like a 6-pointed star, hexagon, and pentagon, right? The pentagon is upside down, 5 and 6, and on either side, right? And then the belfry, and then the church, right, was actually, something like that. And there are videos on it. Maybe I will find a video and show it to you. I, for the first time, entered that church, and I couldn't enter it. I had a colleague who's English-Irish, and then he talked to a certain guy sitting in the front and playing, showing cards, playing cards, and so on. So I entered, and for the first time in my life, I realized where I am. Not 100% in depth, but I realized this is something like good and evil, and black and white, and so on, and right. So that's what I now have a better handle on this. So this here, right? This here is 5, and this here is 6, and this here is God or Adam or Abraham. I'm going to continue on Abraham, but I may actually do some adjustments later, right? And these two are the angels and demons, or good and evil, or humans and devils, or whatever it is, right? Now, why I explained to you here that Ripley had attached herself, as we saw in the titles, to Parker, right? Right, and then Brett attached himself to something, and I am not just sure what that is. But here I explained this as like she's joined at the head, in the head she's joined with Satan, right? Or Parker, who's portraying as Satan, and I will show you. No, I will show you in this movie, right? In one of the deleted scenes, right? I will show you that what I'm talking about is real, right? That's what he represents here, right? But then Hagar or Eve had like two attached to her. So did Cain, right? Or I would say Ishmael, right? Here, if you look here, that is 11, right? When there was knocks, right? And no names when these two blue bars attached to Lambert, right? So that's probably 11, the letter 11, right? 11, right? I don't know how you do it, right? So 11, so that's like good and evil, right? So that's the religion, good and evil, 11 or something of the sort. And here is the same, two attached to him, but you cannot attach it to him vertically because it is a vertical bar similar to this. So they attached to him this way, right? So 2, and we have here, we have 12, right? The number is 12 or 11, right? But she has that 11, that good and evil you always find somewhere, like here, like, I don't know, like, I really don't know. I mean, I observe, but I sometimes don't understand the meanings of those. But then suddenly, two bars appear, one under the A or within the A and one within the E. Together, they appear together. And these probably are the offsprings, right? So this guy gives birth to the whatever. So that is the alien, supposedly, that Ishmael or Cain, son of Cain, remember, son of Cain? And this is here, this here is Ripley and Yaphet Kotto or Parker. And then the A, that small, right? That small bar here, right? Let me do that again. Right? So that's Jonesy. So Jonesy, and that these two within, he is born from within the E, right? And then here from within the A. So this is Jonesy, this is the xenomorph. Okay? All right. So let me take a pause it here for a second. So like I said, I miscounted, silly me. I counted this as 6 and so on, right? But then I remembered this is not 6, right? This is 6, but this is not 6. This is 5. And then the delimiter or the pivot, right? Or the coat hanger. And then there's a 6 here. And then now they all turn blue, right? All right, here is the Nostromo, our shipmate, right? Or the man. So I am making an assumption that our shipmate means Jonesy or the xenomorph. But I am thinking Jonesy. Why? Because that's their shipmate. That's the one they're out in space or out in humanity for. And of course, some dineros, right? Because that Jonesy apparently comes with some, that xenomorph they want to trap in Jonesy because Jonesy, now is owned and he gets some dollars, right? So these are, I said, these 4 edifices are probably the 4 continents, right? I don't know. And then do you see the 3 here? I don't know. I mean, there's like 4, 3 or something of the sort. Yes, everything is very important here in this movie. There's nothing haphazard about it, right? Okay, 20 million. Somebody wants 20 million shares. I don't know who that is. So if we're thinking in terms of shares, this is how it's going to look like. Let me show you. So a little bit of fun. Those who talk in shares here are graduates of the Greeding, Greeding, Frensington, and Fleece Away. Fleece Away sounds about right to you. Institute of Economics and Definancing in New York. Now there are those investors like who already get billion from the government, right? on account of people because they're dumb. I mean dumb. I mean smart. I mean really smart, right? And and they want more, so that's why they're following Damien, or not Damien, like that blonde guy with a Soviet wife, because he to them he is nothing really, but they will own his signature, right? Who's trying to go back to the White House, they will own his signature. He himself is meaningless, and he is fine with that so long he gets some shares here, like Brett or Yafet Koto, I mean Parker, or whatever, right? Okay, so we'll continue. Fun aside. And by the way, Nancy Pelosi is Mrs. Baylock in the movie The Omen in 1976. She's protecting Z. She's reading from that Bible of Trump. Okay, here, let me play this again for you. Uh, so you saw like somebody, as if somebody's farted or something. I think that's Parker. Because they saw that entity, right? Because Parker can see who it is. Okay, as you saw, there's like, as I explained, here what this is prior to entering the temple or the hibernation chamber, but this is a temple. The entity or the hidden spirit that is now in the ship moving about is inspected what's inside before it entered, similar to say predators like big cats, small cats, realizing there's a prey or a target here, because they're predators and prey, right? And they figure out which is which and so on and so forth. So they have like heightened senses. So this one here is seeing what's inside, and there's like the green and the blue and as you saw, right? Eventually, I figured that out to be 12. I made an assumption that up here there's one, and that's a possibility. So there's 4 and 4 and 12, and that confirms to the count of the bars during the title scroll up, right? However, if this is 11, then that's what they're talking about, the religion, right? Because Zoroastrian religion is really based on 11, which is really supposedly humans and demons and good and evil and so on and so forth, right? But that's what it is. That's what I see here, right? So this here could be 11, which is what is surrounding Lambert, with the N, right? There's Lambert, and there's 1, and there's 1, right? So Lambert is in the middle of those two. So she is those wingers, right? Those wings on the emblem. You see what I'm saying, right? Or if it is 12, then that's what's inside here. Now you may come and ask me, well, wait a minute, dude. Here there are 7. So why are you saying 12? Well, as you saw, when the titles scrolled, right, and those bars showed up, Ash didn't have a bar. Maybe it was that blue bar, right? Like I said, Ash is a mysterious personality here. I think he's an angel that is going to play different roles across the ages, right, as this movie progresses. But there are other, the presence of other entities here. And that's what they're talking about. That you do not see, that is here, right? That's what I'm thinking. So Lambert has 2 attached to her. And then Kane has 2 attached to him, right? And then you got yourself now 11, right? So 11 here. So 11 here. And then there's the alien, the xenomorph, which showed in the middle of the E, which was Ishmael or Cain, right? Or human or Adam, right? And the dash in the A, that was attached to Ripley, who is Sarah or Lilith, perhaps. I don't know. We'll see. And now the spirit here that is scouring the ship, that is roaming the ship hallways and doing a complete survey and mapping of what's going on in the ship, moves in, right? Okay, let's take a break here. Okay, one more note on this one. If they mean by Tom Skerritt, if they mean by him that the God that runs the ship, right, then these are angels, right? These are angels controlled by the blue screens, right? Or the blues, right? So here you will see 1, 2, we cannot count it, right? Well, maybe we can, give me a second. So there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, there's here 2, 4, 6, 8. So there's 8, right? So there's 8. I don't know. The 8 also signifies something I'm not aware of. So these may be, like I said, spies and spies and moles, you know, undercover and so on, living here and there, observing their milieu or environment and reporting to mother. So there's something like that, yeah. You go to the cafe, you go wherever you go, there's someone for mother in there. This much I know by myself now, I am sure of, right? Or if this is God, then these are angels and demons. And I am sure of that too. They do exist in this world and they observe and they do things and so on and so forth, right? For mother. Who is mother? I don't know. Mother, it could be Lilith. Mother could be, could be whoever it is. I don't know. It could be that thing on certain coffee shops, which I may explain later. Okay, there's something here I missed. Let me show you. So when Ash tells Dallas, right, that mother is calling you, right, and then Dallas walks away.
Yes, lights on my Zoom.
Notice what happens. Ash gets up and walks ahead of him, and then he disappears. Notice. Oh, he picked up his jacket. Did you see? He picked up his jacket and put it on the seat.
It's only been good.
See? And he disappears ahead of him. Now, if it's the hallway that they walked in, then you should still see Ash here because they walked like just right behind each other, very shortly, right behind each other. So you should see Ash here. But Ash, as soon as he enters that white hallway, which is really out in the open, here it is a secret organization. There it's out in the open, right? So he walks out and then he just disappeared. So now I am almost certain that when Tom Skerritt or Dallas is within the inner sanctum where he is talking to mother, that Ash is there with him as well. It happens later when he appears next to Ripley, right? There's something else I want to show you before we move. Okay, observe again the interaction between Parker and Ash. Now notice they always darken Parker because he is out of that world. He's not the human world. He is the fallen angel, if you will. So they always portray him with featureless, right? They remove his features and they show you that he's coming. And then again, he wears the blue wings, just like Ash does. Both of these wear the blue wings, right? So apparently, this here maybe the Archangel Gabriel or something of the sort. I don't know, but he definitely is. He definitely represent different personalities and historical events, right? So notice how they interact. See, he's nice to him as if he knows him, right? Right? Notice how he bows down, right? To him, right? Did you see that? But then look how he gives him that look right from behind. As soon as he turns his back, he looks at him. So these two do know each other, right? But this guy is wary of him, right? He's wary of him, that he may be in on his plots and his intrigue and so on, and trickery and plans and so on. So he doesn't like him. Notice how he looks at him from behind. Did you see that? Let's try again. This guy is looking. So this guy must be higher rank than this guy, is what we're saying. And that's what we have in Islam, he was like the leader of the angels and so on, that fallen, what you call fallen angel. Notice, he's going to bow down. And now, look at him. Did you see that? All right. And then he cleans up. Okay, we'll continue here. We're on 12 minutes and nearly 42 seconds. Now, Ash is going to sit here and it's going to listen. Okay, give me a second here.
We all hear that, Lambert?
He wants to hear the sound that was recorded. Do you remember in the movie Signs? You cannot hear them until you use that walkie-talkie. So you may want to ask those guys with the who made the movie Signs and their other partners, the ones with the tin hat. They may explain to you some of the aspects here that I am unable to explain. So here the sound, some of it sounds like chaffing of tigers, right? You know how the tigers go, psh, 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 right? When they greet each other, you know, they chuff, right? Or chaff or chuff, right? So they chuff, right? So this sounds like it. But then here you see a reflection on Lambert's face. There's always that reflection on Lambert's face, but nobody else. As if to say that sound is a link to her, or she knows something about it. Notice, right? She has the sensation or knowledge of what it is. But these are the sounds of angels and demons and the ones, probably God, that the ones you don't hear.
Good God. Doesn't...
Good God. Whenever they say the word good God or damn and so on and so forth, they really mean God. So the sound that you heard is probably the sound, as they are trying to say, is the sound of God, is what they are trying to say.
Not like any radio signal I've heard.
Maybe it's a
To-
voice.
Maybe it's a voice. Well, we'll soon know. Now notice, Ash is in his own world here. He's understanding things different from what they do, from what they understand it. Like he has an insight, better insight into what he's hearing. So he has some background information.
Mom,
And again, you will always see some reflections on her face.
now can you hone in on that?
Can you hone in on that?
What was the position?
What would be our position? So here, our position is an attitude, right? It's not the geographical location. What is our position, right? Where do we stand on this? Where are we on this? How do we feel about it?
6550.
Okay, I don't know what 6550 is, but I've done some calculations. So let me do some calculations here. So if I remove the 0 and I consider this minus, then 655 minus 99, that gives me 556, right? 556. I couldn't figure that out. You know, the 66, if I turn this upside down, you get the 66, and then 6, 5, 5, and 6, 6, or 9, 55, and then 66. I don't know. I tried. The closest date I found to it is 570, August 29, 570 AD, which is the birth date of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. How do they calculate that? I don't know. They come close to certain dates, to certain known dates, but it beats me. This, however, does really mean something. I don't know what it is. I mean, I've tried. So maybe if you want to use the 6,550, if it comes to calendar years, it doesn't mean anything. This is way out in the future. And I don't think anybody is talking about that, unless that's how they calculate, so and so. Or if this is a celestial location or distance, like the distance from here to the moon or something of the sort, right? That may be it. I really don't know anything else. Now, when he heard the position, as you can see, he already concluded and figured out a position and know what it is. Or he is now alarmed. Why? Because they figured out what he already knows and kept a secret, right? Or now he knows what the heck is happening and he's getting ready for some action or something to do, right? So give me a second. I don't know what that click is.
Alright, I found the quadrant.
Okay, she found the quadrant.
Ascension, 6 minutes, 20 seconds.
Okay, so ascension, right?
Declination.
Declination 39 degrees. So here's what I theorized, did like some conjecture work here, guesswork, about what they mean by that. So I believe they calculated, we know from my religion, right, that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was ferried from Mecca to the Aqsa Mosque, right, or in Jerusalem. And then from there, he had a prayer, right, led the prayer among all the prophets, right, and then he ascended to heaven. There is his ascension. Now you may say, oh, Jesus had ascension. That historically was actually conceived or fabricated after actually it's less than 1400 years old, but that's not our subject. So here what I am thinking they've done is go back to that year of ascension of the prophet, right, and then they calculated the celestial body, right, to see where he ascended, right, and that's what I think it is, right. So ascension and declination and so on and so forth. And these are celestial calculations. I think that's where, if you're looking at that from that particular spot of Earth, you can go and find out these calculations. I tried and I couldn't. I saw that it is possible to calculate what quadrant of heavens that place is, or whatever, reticuli, or whatever that is, reticuli, but it's really reticuli, and so on and so forth. And now they're all like looking with curiosity, right? There's something there. They know where that entity is. Like I said, these guys have a lot of information here. They're not revealing to you or not fessing up about. And what that is this is an expedition, right? This is not just a haphazard mineral ore harvesting in space. Okay, let's continue.
39 degrees, 2 seconds.
39 to, I don't know, so that's 78. 39 degrees, 2 seconds. 2 seconds, that's like longitude, latitude, right? When you, hour, seconds, minutes, and so on. That's like longitude, latitude.
Okay, put that on the screen for me.
Alright, well, that's it. It's a planetoid.
It's a planetoid, 1200 kilometers.
1,200 kilometers.
So I did some calculation. If I made an assumption that this 1200 kilometer is, as I said earlier, is Arabia in the Middle East, then I tried to calculate location, northwest, they say, and so on, right? So if we're talking here, it should be Mecca, it should be Jerusalem, and then it should be, Persia maybe, or Mesopotamia, or something of the sort. And there are some 1200 kilometers distances between those cities or those areas, right? So, but I really can't tell what the 1200 is. Like I said, the interface 2037 minus special order 937 gives me 1100.
It's tiny. Any rotation?
Any rotation?
About 2 hours.
2 hours. That's Arabia. 1200 kilometers, 2 hours time zone, right? Rotation here is time zone. But notice, there must be something very important. After all, they are now able to pinpoint the source of the intelligent life that they're really after, right? Give me a second. And they're all now, they're craning their necks and their eyes wide open. And this guy is doing some kind of prayer. I don't know what that is.
What about gravity?
What about gravity?
0.86.
0.86. 86 is probably also a some kind of occultic numbers. You have to ask those rabbis who made that other movie with tin hats and so on, and or the tin hatters. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll tell you. But here, this here is within the bridge and the helm or the control center of the spaceship 2, 4, 6, and then they're all blues. You don't see reds here. Reds are the Neos. These guys are the what you call the Morpheus and the tanks and the dozers. They operate Neos, and but they really never do the dirty work themselves. They just harvest. They're graduates of grading, Frensington, Fleece Away, and Bytem Institute of Finances, Definancing and De-economicizing in New York. So she drank coffee. Coffee, like I said, means Arabia. So that's a hint. Coffee, and then you see the one eye, right? So there's a one-eye monster, right? You know, the one-eyed monster. You will see that later. And then he's a coffee. He's among the Arabs. And this guy, I don't know what this gesture is, but I think it means he's concerned now. A little bit concerned. And there, right? She looks at him because she knows he knows, right? Or at least he's a science officer. Now, wait a minute. He said something here.
0.86.
You can walk on it.
You can walk on it, right? So he knows. She noticed that. He slipped and she noticed that. You see that? Is there some kind of a hidden link between the two? Like, I don't know, but no, I don't think so. But she noticed and he knew, right? And there it is. Now here, whenever they show those planets or planetoid, right? They show it to you with 3 moonlets, right? If it's 1200, and there's a ring, right? But now when you look here, don't see a planet. See a crescent moon. So there's that, and there's a crescent moon, another crescent moon, and then another crescent moon. But then between them, there's a small planetoid. You see this sometimes like this. Let me show you. At some Eastern occults, you will see something like this, right? And that's like a Mongol, something Mongol, or, you know, some kind of a religion, right? There's fire here, and there's that. And then there's crescent moon, and there's whatever it is, right? All these are something similar to Masonics or good and evil or whatnot, right? So here, do not see a planet, right? Turn it around, and then you will see some kind of cult or something of the sort, you know, some kind of organization. And here, these are, you know, I don't know what these are, you know, like storage of empty storage to fill with dineros, you know, and gold and whatnot. Okay, so here, that is probably young Jonesy, but it's not Jonesy. It's a different color, right? This is a tabby cat. So, but if that's the tabby cat, then here we're talking, that is, what's his name? Ripley's seat. And then below Jonesy, you will see the 12, right? No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got it. Let me see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? So there's 11. I don't know what that is. No, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, let's say 12, right? But then Jonesy is really at 250. He's between 1, 2, 230 maybe, and 3 o'clock, right? So he belongs. He's fixed here by the 12. So he is a Jewish thing, right? You know, the 12 tribes, right? And then these are his controls. So he's being controlled by his old type buttons, right? So that's little Jonesy. He's being raised, right? Molded according to what Ripley or Sarah wants him to become, right? But he's also the destination or the finale, grand finale of this movie. The movie centers all about him. You will see. And then as you can see here, you know, the Earth is toward him, right? And then, you know, you can read so much here, orbit, intersection, blah, 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 right? So you can see here, you should observe crescent moons and not planetoid.
DOR is in line.
How's the status on the lifters?
Community. See pressure.
All that means something, right? All right, here, that now increases my theory, you know, firms up my theory of this being Arabia. Here, what I'm seeing is the Red Sea, right? That's what I'm seeing, is the Red Sea. Here is the Strait of Bab al-Mandeb, and here is the split, right? The Sinai Peninsula, and you know, the Gulf of Aqaba, as well as the Suez Canal, you know, and so on. That's what I'm seeing. So it is here, right? So it is here. And this is different, of course. Unless this is like the Euphrates, but I don't think so. And then you got blue light rising up, right? But guess what? Now we see that planet, which we saw, and those good and evil, or demons and humans and whatnot, right? Which we saw early during the title scroll up, right? Or presentation on the screen. Now we see them again. It's that planetoid, right? The one that they showed up at the beginning of the movie.
Clear to disengage from platform.
Mark, 20 seconds. 18, 17.
Disengage.
Nice animation. I like that. Okay, here if you see the same thing in the movie Space Snake 2001 Snake Odyssey. See my commentary on that one. It's on my other channel. I'll put a link to it here. So here, if you count those, you will see you got 19. Remember what I told you about the 19, the neons, when he walks into the chamber, that inner sanctum chamber of Mother. And then 19 is also the Cabal. So here you got 19, but each one seems to me like each one has 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one has 10, right? 10 grooves or teeth. So you have to count that. So you got 19, 19, 19. You got 8, 8, 8, right? So all these are occultic numbers. I wish I had my tin hat on now. Or I was like the producer of that movie. They invent stuff like that.
Money's safe. Let's take you down.
Aha, here goes a big secret that I am unable to, to resolve, but I think I did. So now, as you can see, this is a desert, right? I can clearly see a desert. And here there's like, maybe that's the Persian Gulf, or maybe that's the Red Sea. So this is the island. There is more proof to that later, right? What is the money safe? English is not my mother tongue or my native language. So here, what it means to me, two things. It means two things. The money is safe. Why is he talking about money? I think he is graduate from that evil institute that I just mentioned a little earlier. But here what it means is money safe. The S here is belongs to the money. The safe is the target, right? So what that means to me here is this is the safe of the money. So when they're landing here, their expedition, it says this is the safe of the money, right? This is where the money ends. That's what their expedition is all about in space. Those guns, okay, remember those guns I mentioned to you, those guns sticking down and out and so on and so forth, money is safe. But now I have a different opinion. Although they were after a certain target, right? Invasion and right. But that entity or that spirit or that xenomorph that entered the ship that was unseen and was observing and so on and so forth, they kind of infiltrated. It kind of infiltrated their expedition, and now their ranks and their expedition is compromised, right? So maybe they're in the wrong target. You see what I'm saying? But no, later it'll show that they're in the right target, but they really don't have the uh, 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 they don't have they don't have the advantage. Give me a second. Okay, what that means is they no longer have the initiative here, or the element of surprise, or total anonymity, and so on. And there's compromise. That's why there is that basically uh, distrust relationship or interaction or whatnot between Yafe, between Parker and Ash and Ripley and Ash and so on. So this expedition and this basically offensive that is taking place now is no longer sound and total, no longer guaranteed to successfully work, right? So that's what I'm thinking. That's it. You can no longer, this is a point of no return.
Roll 92 degrees port yaw.
Prime port.
What you heard now, prime to port, that very sound I heard in the movie 1984. It's that announcer on TV, you know, like today they increase 5 pounds of chocolate to about 2 million people when they decreased that, right? Remember that? That was like very telling of what's going on. You think that's not real? That's real. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. There's 8 here. There you go. I can't, I'm not, I mean, I am really right on it. Answering the call here, meaningly making the decision to move in or the call to invade. And there goes the music. The music is epic music. It's got to do with war or destiny or something of the sort, right? So there's 2, 3, 2, right? So there's 2 here, and there's 3, and there's 2. As we can see, good old Jonesy, although that's not Jonesy. You know, I thought when I looked at it, I thought there was 2 different cats, right? There were 2 different cats in the role of Jonesy here. But then I read or heard somewhere that there really were 4 cats, not 2. And this one in the picture is not one of them. This one is a tabby cat. This is not a ginger cat or sand cat. I don't mean sand cat, the species. I mean sand cat, the color, really. Prime ventral, prime dorsal. You know, if you look at live shuttle landing and so on, you will see that they use same terms, right? You know, yaw and rotation and then you can see there's some here. You know, there's a celestial body, right? Which means there's something here, right? Observing that planetoid above it, right? Yeah, maybe that's the ascension and decline. Maybe that's what's in there.
39,000 meters. Turbulence.
Now the pen, right? What I told you about the pen. So pen, she has the pen, so she has the authority. Again, that's the beautiful cat, right? The music and knocks and sounds and words, even words, like I'm making interpretation of a very, like I said, I only scratched the surface or the tip of the iceberg. It'll take an insider's information. This movie is like multi-threaded and void of time epochs and so on, and goes back and forth. It's very complex. I mean, this puts Kubrick's to shame.
Locked and
Locked and floating. You can trap us anytime now. We'll catch you.
drop us anytime now. We'll catch you.
Uh-huh. We'll catch you, huh? Oh, yeah, she's gonna catch him. Or them. Them, she's gonna catch them. Internal damping going off. Hold on, people. There is gonna be a little bump. So damping, internal damping, this is a positioning of a spacecraft. So you have to have some damping or inertia to be able to control its movement and location and position in space where there is no gravity.
The next damping's going off. All on people is going to be a little bump.
Now here, keep watching. As you can see, these are the guns, right? And so on. So this is a military expedition. Invasion has commenced, right? So there's like a gun here. There's a gun here. This here expedition has commenced into Arabia. Aha. What did I tell you about the elephant? Elephant will come to signify a very important concept in this movie, and that's one of the threads, not the entire thing. I may have actually sorted out the main gist of the movie and the script, but I may be off. However, I have actually kind of cleared the road, but I cannot draw the map, the full map. I drew a rough map, but not like 100% accurate, detailed map of this script. Why am I interested in this movie? Because it's iconic, and then it's been almost half a century and nobody was able to explain it, right? But it takes insiders' information to do so. And it's really reflective of certain dogma and whatnot that is going on in this world. So that was an elephant, right? Elephant sound. Let me repeat it for you.
Now we'll catch you.
When the next damping's going off, all on people is going to be a little bump.
Little bump here, meaningly there is resistance. The invasion has been discovered, and they discovered there is some kind of a force facing them, right? That was an elephant's shriek or sound or whatever. I don't know what. I know donkey is bray, B-R-A-Y, but I don't recall what the elephant sound is called. What the hell was that? So that's something from hell, right? Did you see? Let's go play a little bit with good old Parker, who's dead now, right? He just died in Hawaii. Man, he looks funny here. Look, look, look. Oh. Now notice the cigarette. So I mentioned to you the coffee. I mentioned to you the palm trees. And now there is the cigarette. This guy keeps rolling cigarettes and smoking them. That tells me, and then there's the sun, right? Right? That tells me who he is. I am almost concluded, or it's almost conclusive to who this personality is, or who this is as certain people, as certain religion, and so on. I will show you later. So he made that decision.
Drop me off now.
So here, here you will see that this counter here will be 7/23/23/06. 7/23/23/06. That 23 is your 666, right? 666, and or the 23. They make like two triangles, right? And then there's the 6 and then the 7. The 7 is a little bit of mystery. It's 1/6, but it'll play a role later, right? And here, there is the attack. So there are buildings, right? And then there is the descent or the attack here, beginning, right? And here are the mountainous region of Western Arabia.
Take her down.
Uh-uh. Those poor guys downstairs, they see the invasion happening and, oh man. Lights here are, I believe, are legions or some kind of force units, like brigades, like whatever it is, you know, they're just coming down.
Navigation lights on.
Here the hunt is on. Here they're after the money safe. So there is a safe here that has money in it. And that is the spirit, as a matter of fact. And because the spirit encompasses, it owns money and it owns so and so. So they want to make decisions in its name and use it, like put it into some kind of a cage or a prison, imprison that spirit or entity which they're here to take, right? Or entrap. And then they use its signature to do so and so. It ain't gonna work. You have to arrive at the ending. There's your gun, lit up already, right? Probably firing. We got 5-3 still out. So 5-3, as you all know, that's like the 1.666, right? No problem, just down 11%. Again, that's the 11. You know, the 11 I explained earlier, right? So, all right, Ash is talking that. So this is a unit, the 5-3s. Are these what, the Masonics? Maybe, I don't know. Or are they the Templars? Or are they, which are probably the same, right? Or are they Shiites or Alawites or something of the sort? But that is what he's talking about. They're out. Apparently, the first foray or the first encounter or scrimmage put out the 5-3s, right? So the battle is not going well so far. Notice, they have these reflections. I don't know what these are, right? But they look like a map to me. You would see them here and you would see them on Lambert's face earlier, right? So I don't know. I mean, there may be a map or geographical location or something of the sort. So here the battle has already commenced and is going on. Now here you may think this is like what's called damp jet engines, right? Or rocket engines that offsets a certain gravity movement or movement, you know, like so they kind of slow down the descent. No, this here they're spraying the enemy with certain materials, right? And this is also used later in the movie. I'll show you. Here they're poisoning their enemy, right? Or the defenders. Or they're putting them to sleep or something of the sort. So that's why it's rough, as a matter of fact, is because there's like the fight is still going on. Here, I don't know. I mean, again, you see that again. That may look like Spain to me. I don't know. I mean, Spain and France, and then this English Channel, and then the Mediterranean, and I don't know. I mean, but definitely this reflection here is not haphazard or something on the scene they couldn't cover. So 7, 8, 7, 6, and then 5, 4, 3. So they count 3 and 3. But that's most certainly Western Arabia. Again, you see those reflections on him. I don't know. And then you see, right? There's more. There's something here. Looks like good old Dallas has some kind of a dial on the side of his head. Somebody controls him. And there are the guns, right? And the firing is going on, right? You know. There is the first engagement with the main body of the expedition, of the expeditionary force. Of course, there's like alarm blaring because there is a breach, right? Some forces are already out, and they utilize the force like Neo's, like Keanu Reeves, Neo in the Matrix. You know, they utilize him out to fight out in the open. They have many forces, the 5-3s and Deck A, no, Deck B and Deck C, and all kind of forces that they utilize to fight outside. They promise them heaven, and they throw them a bone and get rid of them at the end. But that's what they're talking about. They will mention those later. Putting out the fire, apparently the defenders weren't, they were underestimated, and they're not you know, feeble type to tangle with.
Somebody give me a straight answer.
Yeah, he wants to know the status of the battlefield.
Is the whole breach?
It's a hull breach. No, is the hull breach? He asked actually. I don't see anything. We still got pressure. As you can hear, the wind howling, meaningly the battle is going on like really, really bad. Load sharing unit is out, meaningly they cannot supply or provide, whether it's money, reading and freezing, you know. And fleece away, right? Fleece away. Does that sound right to you? There's certain away, like investor or something like that. Away, you know, fleece away, and whatever it is, right? So here, 3 to 4 cells. Cell here means a unit of force or undercover unit, because now Parker as well as Brett, they function behind enemy lines. That's why they're not here. They're elsewhere, right? They're behind the, they're functioning behind the enemy lines. That's why here they're talking. They're not on the bridge, right? Along with others. So they're telling them like some cells are gone, right? You know, those Neos, you know, they just got crushed here. You know, like, oh, mother. So this guy now has a dilemma on his hand, you know, Abraham or Adam, right? No, he's in trouble, really. We can't fix it anyway. Here, anyway. We need to reroute. A couple of these ducts wouldn't you say, Brett, right? Meaningly here, they have to replace or, you know, rewire, you know, the forces behind enemy lines that are not seen, right? They have a problem. Now that's what he's having problem here. Will he continue the expedition or will he take off again? But if he does, he's going to leave all those behind enemy lines, you know, the ducts and routes and cells and so on. You know, they're going to get crushed, but they will leave them there anyway, regardless, because that's what it is here. Remember when he was throwing breadcrumbs to Parker? You know, you'll get what you contracted for, right? And then he was like tossing breadcrumbs on the table. He's done some prayer here. I don't know what that is, right? So a couple of these ducts, wouldn't you say, Brett? Dry duct time, meaningly dry duct here. There has to be a seize or yeah, they have to cease combat. You know, combat must be stopped. The fight must be stopped to dry duct. So they have to disengage, if you will, in order for them to dry duct down. Dry duct, disengage, so they can have time to fix all these cells and units that got damaged and destroyed. Or maybe defected, I don't know. But he's doing some prayer now. I don't know what that is, but I've seen it a lot and it didn't do much good. Dry duct. Tell her we need to dry duct.
Look, we couldn't fix it out here anyway. We got to reroute all these ducts, and in order to do that, we've got to dry dock. What else?
Fragments kicked up. So this war is now not just like a frontal war. There's some special forces here and there, right? And we've got to clean it out. So there is some apparently circling around by the enemy. And repressurize it, like push them back. Pressure your enemy. How long before we are functional?
He said 17 hours, fella.
At least 25 rounds.
I would say if this is the war that I'm thinking about, first he said 17 years and now he's saying 25 years. I don't know. Or 25 hours based on the 2 hours rotation as was stated by Lambert, meaning, you know, they need like to go back to so and so, and I don't know. But here there's something funny. And in the deleted scene, you will see it as well. This here is a wind chime. What does that signify? I really don't know, but it's nice, especially when in the autumn, it begins to chime and you enjoy the autumn and so on. That may mean a place as well. I don't know. It's kind of windy.
What the hell's she coming down here for? Let's get this stuff out of the way.
I'd like to see what she's going to do when she gets here.
So it's still out there, it's still windy and hostile, and battles are going on. Wind howling. And then there's your 1846, right? 246. Okay, now there is something about Lambert. Now she's pondering. Apparently, she probably was in on the game, shares and trapping the entity or the spirit from Arabia and whatnot. That's her son Ishmael, or if he's Eve, then he is Cain, right? That's her son. And then Adam is her husband, or Dallas, right? And she's smoking. Usually smoking denotes burn somebody or shit like that. But you look at what she's doing, she's thinking, and then there's like smoke coming up, right? You know, some real tribulation and bad omens on the horizon. But there will be communication between her and the others here. Subtle communications.
No, absolutely nothing.
No response.
The same transmission every 12 seconds.
So 12 seconds here, someone within the enemy, behind enemy lines in that Arabia, they are part of the 12 tribes, right? And they are the ones issuing this communication. You will come to see that's very important. So here it was understood to be alien and that's what they're going in. But they've come to realize the 12 are the cells that are behind enemy lines that Parker was talking to. So there's remnant of Sarah and whatnot behind enemy lines in, say, I'm making the assumption that it's Arabia, right? So Arabia is that center of the planet, that planetoid LV24 or whatever it is, right? Or 12, right? And then there's like the one side 6 and the one side 5. They're fighting in there now. There is a war in there. In that, at the presentation, the beginning, you know, when that planetoid and the two things, right? I explained as good and evil, or humans and fallen angels, and Adam and Lilith and so on, right? So the 12 seconds, maybe like those guys are in there already. They have tried already and there's still remnant of them. And these are the ones that is showing the transmission.
The other channels are dead.
All the channels are dead, and she took like a deep, exhaled deep, right? You know, like she really took in a big puff of smoke or something. I don't know. Notice now he is talking. Here, I don't know what that is, but it does appear to be a gesture of distress, right? That he realizes that there's something really wrong here. Or he's communicating something to her to keep silent. Notice. Yeah. So here she either is worried about him, that the leader now realizes something is really wrong, right? He's drinking coffee, right? So the money is safe, or the safe is no longer safe, right? So the money is gone now, or now he's probably no longer concerned about the money, BUTT coin, right? or whatnot, right? Billions and subsidies and whatnot, right? So he's now probably concerned about the entire expedition or himself or the crew, or this is much worse than thought. So the inner keep of Zion, right, is now concerned, very concerned. She is looking at him, right, and seeing that he's concerned, or that's a communication telling her, don't say shit. Excuse my French.
Kick on the flat.
Kick on the floods. The floods here mean either make a foray or an offensive, like those low quality soldiers that are usually sacrificed, such as Neos in the Matrix, or here it's a deception or gases or something of the sort. See, it's going, still the intensity of the battle is still there, and hostilities are going on and so on. So these are the floods. They're getting ready a new wave of assault, right? And the guns, as you can see, the guns still sticking down, right? Here and here, right? And here and here. And there's one here, obviously you don't see correctly. And so this is really, so they probably here taken there's a lull in the fighting. All right.
No. No.
I don't know what he said. I couldn't get that one. Walking distance. So here, there is a very important thing. But you know what? I'll stop here because this is a very important moment here in the movie. This interaction here is very important. You know what? Why don't I explain it? I'll make it 1 hour and 10 minutes.
We can't go anywhere in this.
We can't go anywhere in this. So this guy is acknowledging the status quo. There is a problem down there, like defending and the geography and the earth features and the forbidding, give me a second. Yeah, you saw that it's like bumpy terrain and bad geography and hostile weather and so on. So what all that says here is illustrating that the battle is going nowhere. So far, the main offensive really failed, right?
Oh, Mother says the sun's coming up in 20 minutes.
Okay, the sun is coming up in 20 minutes. The sun is always sometimes, like they're getting help from Mother here. So here they stalled, right? But Mother is going to intervene. That's beyond, right? So here, when Mother intervenes, supposedly with those light bulbs in the Mother room, which are probably angels, they're going to intervene and defeat the enemy in 20 minutes. 20 minutes? I don't know. 20 days? 20 minutes? Maybe. Right?
How far away from the source?
How far are we from the surface?
Transmission.
Northeast. So I don't know what northeast is. Is it Iran? Is it Jerusalem? Is it Mecca? Is it Arabia? But definitely Arabia is here, the one that is the attack is going on, where the war is going on. Now, why Arabia? There's something about Arabia, West Arabia. I will explain to you later.
Northeast. Just under 2,000 meters.
Walking distance.
So 2,000 meters, probably 2,000 kilometers. Now he goes walking distance. This guy, that's why they called him dead. Notice the reaction when he says walking distance. Notice the reaction, supposedly his father, and then this guy. He laughs, right? So he laughs at him, is this guy all right? Does he know what he's talking about or what we are talking about? Notice how he looks at him. This is like treating a child or a kid, when they say something funny and then you look at them and smile to how simpleton and innocent their statements are, that they're not aware of realities and so on.
You mean that? Sure. Yes.
So he doesn't know what's going on. But now the laugh here, the reaction could be that he doesn't know that he is the bait, right? He is the bait. There is a force there, and that force has some xenomorph in it, an alien that they want to extract, and he is the bait. He does not know that he's innocent. He's got some dumb shit. Well, he may not be dumb, but he just doesn't know, right? I mean, we don't make assumptions outside of what we observe. Notice his mother now looks at him, right? After he made that statement and they laughed at him, she's a little bit worried. But now, is she giving him up, or is she realizing that she went too far, allowing her son to be a bait or something of the sort? Notice how she's looking at him. And now she smokes him, right?
It's almost
It's almost primordial. Primordial here means ancient and old, right? So there is that xenomorph or spirit in here. Xenomorph, right? It's almost primordial. And the screen is green. Remember the blue screen with all these records and numbers and so on, which may mean money or number of soldiers or troops or militias or what not, right? This one is green one. They have similarity actually. So the blue is coming here to strip the green of its money.
Nitrogen, high concentration.
Nitrogen and high concentration of carbon dioxide, crystals, methane. Sounds like oil and gas, natural gas to me here. So that's pretty much Arabia. So they've come here to take the oil and natural gas.
Of carbon dioxide, crystals, methane. I'm working on the trace element.
For free. You ain't taking nothing that you're not gonna pay off later. You pay back later.
Yes, it's rock, lava base.
Rock lava base, meaningly there's no forests or woods in there or trees or so on. That's Arabia. And later on, there's such more evidence to what I am saying here.
Deep
This guy like shifting his eyes right and left, and he's dumbass.
coal, rubber leather.
He knows how to play that role, right? And she's smoking that. Now she's pondering again, maybe what have I done, right, to Cain or Ishmael, right? Or, she's trying to hesitate, she's hesitating, right, in taking the next step. But apparently here, at this juncture, there's no going back, right? She's at the point of no return.
I'll volunteer to be in the first group to go out.
Oh, number, look at him. He'll volunteer. She got alarmed, right? In the walking distance. He'll volunteer. So he's the type that is reckless, right? He takes the risk, right? When everybody else is guarded and reserved and errs on the side of caution. Not him.
Yeah, it figures.
Yeah, that figures, right? Dallas, his father, knows him. Right? But they still are unaware of what's in there. That primordial thing, that xenomorph, that spirit, how powerful it is or what it will do. Probably they are not aware of the consequences yet or the magnitude of their enemy or what they're trying to seize, right? So they want the oil, but they want the and the gas, and they want to invade and destroy that religion, right, with Arabia, and so on and so forth, right? But at the same time, they will seize that spirit, that entity.
You too, Lambert.
You too, Lambert, his mother. So he wants, now here, that conforms to Abraham taking his wife, Hagar, and Cain, right? Her son Ishmael into the wilderness, into Arabia. So these guys are loading the history or the story of Abraham and his family more than what it really is. But he received the order, remember, to take his son, and he looked at him, she, and his mother, take them into Arabia. That's the only way they can get it, by acquiring or seizing the seed.
Better break out the weapons.
Better bring out the weapons. Here they say break out. I think bring out with the weapons. So this is an expedition. Now this is like bare knuckle fight, right? They're going to go in themselves. They have to, right? And face off with what's going on in there. The defenders as well as the xenomorph entity, the spirit, and this is now okay. So they light up they load the disruptors, right, or the guns, right, and they're ready to go. And then still hostile out there. All right, I'm gonna stop here, right? I think we've got like an hour and 15 minutes. So 2148. And then we'll continue later. All right. So have a nice day, my friends.